When you open your medicine cabinet, do you find what you need easily, or do you just close the door right away? Well, now is a good time to conduct an annual medicine cabinet makeover.
So joining us now is Carol Matichka. She is Doctor of Pharmacy and the UF Jacksonville Campus Assistant Dean. And you have some tips for organizing your medicine cabinet. Where do we start?
I do. Well, first of all, what you want to do is go through your medications and look to see what's expired, because of course we want to get rid of those first. And those can be your over-the-counter as well as your prescription drugs. You'll also want to get rid of any medications that aren't being used anymore. And it's very important to get rid of those medications, because otherwise children or even pets sometimes, or adolescents who you certainly don't want to get a hold of these medications can. Now, another question I get asked, well, how do I get rid of these medicines? Because that's an important question. And actually, the FDA came out with some consumer guidelines for this. Now, for controlled substances, you want to be a little bit safer, of course. There are actually a list of medications that they recommend you can flush. So there's a concern in the environment in regards to what you can and can't flush, so make sure you look at that list first. And so for the medications that aren't on that list, they actually say you can take the pills out of their containers and mix them in something that people would not like to get into.
Like coffee grounds, I heard.
Coffee grounds, absolutely. Kitty litter, something that people wouldn't want to obviously dig through, and then put them in a sealed container and then throw those in the trash. Another option, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office actually has a permanent box off of Forsyth where you can bring your prescription drugs. So for those who are local here, you can certainly bring those there. And then lastly, the DEA has prescription take-back days, and you can go to the website and see when those are.
Let's talk a little bit about those prescriptions. Sure. I was sick recently, so I had some amoxicillin, which I didn't finish.
Oh, no.
How long will the typical medication last? And when it's expired, is it dangerous when you take it?
Well, it can be dangerous. It depends on the medication. But certainly we'd like to see antibiotics taken to the entire length of time, just because of risk of different issues that can occur there. But certainly if something is expired, we recommend getting rid of it, because you just don't know. And that brings me to another really good point, is that we say keep them in your medicine cabinet, but really that's the worst place to keep your medicines, because it gets very hot and steamy and you can actually break down the medications faster. Yes, absolutely.
So where do you put it?
So what I recommend is actually keeping them maybe in a lockbox in a hallway, or in the kitchen, or in a locked cabinet, somewhere again where adolescents or kids can't get a hold of them, but somewhere where you can get to them easily.
I have a question. Is there an expiration date on cough drops?
There is actually on cough drops.
I know.
I have old ones around the house.
Yeah, I did.
Because
I
no
saw
one
these
really
on the table.
finishes the whole bag of cough drops unless you're really, really sick.
Right, absolutely.
So is that just because they get nasty, or did they stop being effective?
Well, and especially with cough drops, you'll see they just start getting a gelatinous and not very tasteful anymore. But certain things can actually not work as well, and there's certain medications that break down very quickly, for instance, nitroglycerin. And aspirin.
Got about 15 seconds left.
Sure.
Your tips for cold and flu?
Tips for cold and flu: always wash your hands, stay away if you're sick, make sure you stay home as opposed to getting everybody else sick, and get the flu vaccine.
And fist bump instead of shaking hands.
Right, yeah,
there you go. Always fist bump.
That's politically correct.
Thank you, Carol.
Thanks for joining
We
us.
appreciate it.
Thank you.